Hello, welcome to another episode of Let Us Talk About It. Okay, so this one is about emotional and verbal abuse, so I'm just giving a quick trigger warning for anything that might sound triggering that you do not want to listen to or that will give you some sort of panic attack or flashbacks if you do listen to this. So this is your warning to click off of this episode of this podcast right now. Okay, everyone who needed to leave left. Okay. So, verbal abuse and emotional abuse are two different things, but when paired together can be a lot worse than just them alone. And I'm not saying anything like abuse is abusive. Both of them are bad. But for the people who abuse both, it is easier for them to do stuff. Like, for example, verbal abuse is like literally shouting at you, calling you cuss words, like, multiple Karens, what Karens yell at you. But we're talking about, that just in general. And then emotional abuse is manipulation, basically. So, let me think. So, being like, if you leave me, I'm gonna die of heartbreak. And there's a lot more in depth to this. I'm just saying of some of experience. So, yeah, also it can tie into the point where it gets super bad, where because verbal abuse is also just yelling at a person. Like it can get so bad to a point where a parent or a guardian is yelling at a child so much, or at their partner so much that it gives them a panic attack. Because a lot of people who've been through it, after quite a few years, they do sometimes develop PTSD or panic disorder, an anxiety disorder. And I know about it, and also I would like to talk about in another episode about physical abuse, because I've seen it. But a lot of verbal and emotional abuse can cause PTSD as okay, let me explain. PTSD is not just wars. PTSD is it's called post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic. So traumatic can be wars. It can be you getting almost ran over by a train, or it can be that you got bullied in school and really badly. Most stuff that PTSD is from is not, and I swear to the words, if someone's oh, well, it's only, no, it's not only in wars, but I saw someone be yeah, I have PTSD now, my parents took away my phone. That's not what it is. That's not what it is, though. PTSD can be a really bad disorder, and so some things that happen with PTSD, I don't know if I have it. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I've done research on it. So PTSD, it can give you panic attacks because it is partially a panic disorder, because it gives you panic attacks if something from, if you have flashbacks or triggering moment re-happening. Basically, re-happening, I mean, a sound, or, a sound, a taste, a smell, any of that, depending on how severe it is. For example, because I don't have PTSD, but I might, though, I have never been diagnosed. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I show some signs of it. For me, glass breaking. It can cause someone who has PTSD if something glass things broke while this traumatic event happened or had happened multiple times. Any type of glass breaking can trigger them and bring them into a panic attack or just scare them. And it can be for all ages that this can happen. It can happen to a teenager, it can happen to a younger child, but it usually develops from usually it's after the traumatic event that this develops. And with emotional and verbal abuse, like how this beginning of this episode is going to be, it can cause a lot of people who've gone through it to develop PTSD from it. And I'm not saying that physical abuse isn't as bad. I'm giving physical abuse and PTSD and partial PTSD from physical abuse their own their own episode. So, verbal and emotional abuse, all abuse is abuse. But depending on how severe it is and how people handle it, the cases can be more severe or less severe. Like, for example, is hearing glass break, depending on how severe it is, it can scare you and, like, put you off put for the rest of the day, to the point where it will literally send you into a panic attack where you're unable to do anything else for the rest of that day. And what things can help with this is therapy, talking to someone about it, or having yourself exposed to those sounds after being able to get yourself over it, so you're able to get used to the sounds, like, because it could be normal everyday sounds, it could be unusual sounds that you don't really hear, but can cause that. And also, like, because stuff like that should be treated, like, it should be, like, you should go to therapy, like, and I understand how it is, because some of that did happen to me, and verbal and emotional abuse doesn't just come from parents, it can come from partners. Like, I dated this one person who was actually kind of emotionally abusive to me. I'm not gonna say their real name, but it was, I've gotten over them already, I'm started a new life, but some of what they've said and done has stuck with me. So, Andy. That wasn't their real name, but, that's what we're gonna go with. Now, where I am, they can't touch me, and they cannot speak to me, which I find amazing. But what they had done was, first off, they would go behind my back, and they would talk trash about me. They cheated on me, they cheated on me in front of me. They were talking about how they had other partners, and they acted like they cared about me, and they admitted that they didn't care about me in the first place, like, that they were just using me, because, why not, obviously. And they did admit to talking to someone while we were dating. And in the other episode, the next episode after this, that's going to be physical abuse, they also did physically abuse me. Like, they left marks. Also, I'd like to just give a disclaimer. If abuse, because all of it's going to be in the same category, even if you're not being hit and it doesn't leave a mark, it's still abuse. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on this matter. I would like y'all, if any of y'all have any type of, advice for other people, I would like y'all to leave it down in the comments, even if it's, and this is a safe venting spot, so I will be checking the comments. If anyone, if on the, on YouTube, because I'm posting this on YouTube, if I can get the comments to work, it will be a safe venting space. It can be a safe space to talk about this type of stuff, and if I see any comments being rude, or what I believe to be rude, I will be taking those comments down. Thank you for enjoying this rant. If you did listen all the way through, I would just like to say, go get yourself something to eat. If you haven't already ate, go get some water. Go take care of yourself, and whoever has gone through this, I hope that anyone else who's gone through the same thing as me gets better, and I hope everyone has an amazing day, night, whatever, wherever time zone you are, whatever time it is right now. Hope you have a great night or day. Bye-bye.